Hey guys, so today we're gonna be making some yummy beef ragu, and today I'm making it using a cut of beef chuck roast, about a 2 to 3 pound piece. Alright, so let's get started. Okay guys, so I'm starting by drying off the extra water on the piece of beef using paper towel, alright, to soak up the extra water. And next I'm gonna season the meat. So to season it today, I'm gonna be using some Italian seasoning, salt, black pepper, a little bit of adobo seasoning. Just be careful when adding the if you're using the adobo seasoning and salt, you don't want to add too much salt, okay? I'm also going to be using some garlic powder and a little bit of olive oil. The olive oil, I'm going to drizzle it all over the beef, and this is going to help the seasoning stick really well to the meat, okay? So season all sides of the meat, and then we're going to start cooking. Okay, so today I'm using my cast iron skillet, you guys, to cook the beef ragu, because I'm going to sear the meat first in the cast iron skillet, and then I can just use that pan and place it into the oven to finish baking and cooking. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, just use a regular frying pan to brown the meat, and then you can transfer it to a baking dish so it can finish cooking. Alright, so I'm using my cast iron skillet. I got it nice and hot, and I'm adding in a little bit of oil to the bottom of the pan just to coat it. Okay, and next I'm gonna take the meat once the pot is hot, and I'm gonna brown the beef on all sides until it has a nice brown color all over. All right, you want to seal the juice inside of the meat, so brown it all over. In a little while you'll see me, if you need to use a tongue to kind of hold the meat up to brown it, you can do that if you'd like. All right, and once the meat is browned all over, I'm gonna remove it from the pan, and then I've chopped up some onions, some carrots, and some celery, and a little bit of garlic. You're just gonna add the sliced vegetables and the minced garlic into that same pan. Okay, so now you want the vegetables to cook for about 3 to 4 minutes until it softens and starts to caramelize just a little bit. And while it's cooking, you want to scrape the bottom of the pan to release any of the bits in the pan from the meat. Okay, that's good flavor we want in our ragu. So once the carrot, onions, and celery softens, I'm going to start adding in a little bit of tomato paste and also some crushed tomatoes. As usual, you guys, I will list the ingredients and the measurements I'm using for everything in the description box down below for you guys, so you can check it out there. So I'm adding in the crushed tomatoes, and then I'm going to mix everything together. So next I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar. You can use regular white sugar as well, and just a little bit to cut down on the acidity from all the tomato products I'm using in this dish. Okay, so I'm adding in that, and then I'm gonna add in some beef broth. So when you're making this dish, you could use a mixture of beef broth and a little bit of wine if you'd like, but today I'm only using the broth. Okay, so if you'd like to add some red wine, you could go ahead and add it in with the beef broth. And now I'm just gonna mix everything together. I'm giving the pot a stir to combine everything together, and then I'm gonna let this come to a boil over medium heat. While I'm waiting for the pot to come to a slight boil, I'm gonna taste the sauce and season it to my liking. So I'm gonna add a little bit more onion and garlic powder. Make sure the sauce is tasting right. Okay, make sure your sauce is tasting delicious. And I'm also going to place the piece of beef back into the pot and wait for it to come to a slight boil. And at the same time, you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Turn off the stove, but your oven is preheating to 375 degrees. Okay, and I'm going to cover my pot with some foil paper. Alright, and once the oven is preheated, you're going to place this dish into the oven to finish cooking, and basically you're going to let it bake for about 2 hours. At the 2 hour mark, I remove it and check it to see if it's ready. So yeah, cover the pan and place it into the oven to bake at 375 degrees for about, it's going to take about 2 to 3 hours to be completely cooked, but at the 2 hour mark we'll check it. Okay, you guys, and right here we're at the 2 hour mark, 2 hours to 2 hours and a half, and as you can see, my beef is getting tender. I can basically shred it at this point, but it's still a little bit too tough. So what I'm gonna do is, you can baste the meat with some of that delicious sauce in the pan. All right, shred it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna cover it back and I'm gonna put it back into the oven to finish cooking. All right, so about 1 more hour, depending on the tenderness of your meat at this point. Cover it, put it back, and let it get completely tender, and just, if it had bone in it, it would be falling off the bone. Okay, it should be just moist and tender and very easy to shred. That's how you know your meat is finished cooking. Okay guys, so after almost 3 hours, my beef ragu is finished cooking. So I'm uncovering it, and at this point you can shred up the beef if you'd like, or you could slice it however you'd like to cut the beef. Okay, and that is it for this recipe, you guys. Serve it with the delicious sauce in the pan. Another tip is, if the sauce starts to dry down too much or thicken on you, you could add in a little bit more beef broth or even water, and just make sure you taste the sauce if you add in any water, to make sure the seasonings is good in the pot. But that is it for this recipe. You can serve this with some delicious rice or even some pasta. You could mix this with some delicious pasta, spaghetti, whatever you'd like, and you got some beef ragu pasta. So delicious. Oh my god, so good. But that is it for today's recipe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a try. If you do, let me know in the comments down below how it turned out, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.